I'm Jim Deedlow, host of Jed in the Region here on AM 1230 WJOB and 104.7 FM. That's in the mornings. But hey, later in the day, we do some Jed in the Morning segments. We bring in people that have great ideas for business. This one is a 1 million cups partnership here. Those are the folks with the Kauffman Foundation. And we are right here on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, Indiana, right next to Purdue Northwest, as part of Purdue Northwest. And if you want to present your product, or you know somebody who might be a good candidate to come in here and present it in front of a live audience, all you got to do is get a hold of Mont Handley at the Purdue Commercialization and Manufacturing Excellence Center. We got a lot of other stuff going on here at the CMAC here at Purdue Northwest, and one is on November 3rd from 3 to 5 p.m. here at the center. We're going to have Sean Riley, and if he doesn't sound all that, doesn't ring a bell right now, he will at some point in the venture capital community, because he is one of the guys behind Dude Wipes. Now, if you don't know what Dude Wipes are, I can tell you right now. There is a roll of toilet paper sitting right next to my toilet, and then there's a big pack of Dude Wipes up there. I'm not exactly going to say what they're used for, because this is, of course, commercial radio, but they can be used for a lot of different things, including just like wiping your armpits and other areas, your feet, your toes, all that kind of stuff. And they are selling wildly around America, and they're going to be in here for Founders Hours from November 3rd. It'll be 3 to 5 p.m. So we're creating a venture capital community, and we're going to tell you right now how that's going on, because this live local audience is going to give a big hand right now for the local venture capital community here. And what we have coming up, it'll be Kadestrick Russel of Crete, Illinois, and you know what makes him even more special? He is a Purdue Northwest graduate of 2011. He has worked in several industry, lending, real estate, financial services, and his product will allow the camping experience to begin immediately after reaching the campsite. Let's hear it once again for Kadestrick Russel. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kadestrick Russel, and I am the founder of Tent-MAtic. Tent-MAtic is an auto-erecting tent, and it allows a fast setup when you reach your camping site. The mission of Tent-MAtic is to bring convenience to the camping industry.
All right, we will be right there. And since this is live radio and live television, we are going to have exactly what happens all the time on Bozo Circus, and they have some sort of wardrobe malfunction.
Yes.
This is, of course, a PowerPoint malfunction, and that is on us. So take it away, Kadestrick. We got it fixed.
So again, the problem that we're trying to solve, how many people in here have ever been camping before? When you go camping, what is it like in that first few hours of that camping experience? It's burdensome, correct? So here at Tent-MAtic, that's the problem that we were trying to solve. We spoke with a few colleagues. I spoke with a few avid campers, and they had the same issue. So in my lightning fast mind, I said, how can we make this experience more quicker? How can we fix this problem? And that's how we came up with the concept. So here's our solution. Tent-MAtic is just it's a mechanized auto-erecting tent. This is one of our concepts. We have 3 concepts that we're actually working on, but this is the first one that we created. So as you can see, it's mechanized. It can be powered through a push button, and it also can be powered through app on your phone. So I just wanted to give a little brief industry overview of the camping industry. As of 2016, the camping industry generated about $4.1 billion. REI is the largest player in this market. They control about 40% of the market, in which they generated 2% of their sales off, 2% of their revenue off tent sales, which equates to $40 million. As you can see, the annual growth for 2016 was 1.8%, and 2016 to 2020 is predicted to be about 1.5%. We also found that as of 2014, there are 1 million new campers entered the camping market. The millennials was the biggest drivers in this market. We found out that companies like Campground of America, they're introducing more Wi-Fi into their camping experience. And we're also targeting individuals that are in that age group of about 34 to 54 years of age. They generally make about $75,000 per year. Higher, they tend to camp in cabins. They tend to purchase RVs. So we found that about 78% of campers sleep in tents. With the business model that we chose the direct sales method. The reason why we chose the direct sales method, we figured that this is the best way to get our product to the end users. Some of the methods that we plan to use are company stores, the company website, a direct sales force, and we've also been looking into as a growth strategy is doing some type of government contracting. What we found in the research was that when governments go into other countries, when they use tents, they burn the tents when they leave. So this is an efficient way to save the government money. This is our underlying magic. We believe that we have a registered patent. We have a 20-year patent on this product. We have a niche product. We're in a large enough market to generate the revenue. It's mechanized and electrical. Hasn't been done before. We can be erected through your mobile app. It comes in one piece. It's lightweight, and we think that our pricing structure, the way we price the product, the way we're pricing the product, it gives us room to play with the price and then also to be able to compete with larger competitors. This is our marketing and sales. Our first year, we're looking to sell maybe 100. We're looking to do about 100 tents per month. If we do 100 tents per month, this will generate about $960,000 in revenue for the first year. That 100 tents break down to about 25 a week. We think that at year one, we can accomplish those goals. We want to double in year 2, year 3, and by year 4, we want to do a 30% year-over-year growth. These are, again, the two biggest players, REI, which is a company that's located in California. As I said earlier, they hold about 40% of the market. They generate about $2.1 billion in sales last year. And the other major players, Panagonia, which holds about 12.7% of the market, and about $517 million was their revenue for 2016. Right now, this is our team that we're working with. We have an office assistant. I'm the operations manager. We have a marketing sales guy. So we have a sales force that we're currently trying to work with, and we have an order fulfillment guy. This is our financial piece. According to the way our product is priced, cost of goods sold, we're estimated that we're going to have about a 62.5% gross profit margin, and after expenses and taxes, we're looking at about a 23% net profit margin. And as you can see, year 2, we expected to have about $541,000 in net profit after taxes. Year 3, $1.1 million by year 3. Here are the milestones. Right now, we've been incorporated. We've established the business plans. We've been granted the patent. We've started some computer animated drones. We got concepts that we're going with. So our next step, what we're trying to do this month is establish funding, maybe a partner, build a prototype. After building the prototype, we want to start to build a website. We want to start some aggressive marketing. And we just want to, by December, begin to hire and train staff. We want to start aggressively marketing next month so that we can catch that December and just kind of test the market and see how our product works, see how our sales work. And by 2019, our goal is to scale the company up. We want to be able to have an official location that we own by 2019, January. So, thank you. Any questions? Yes.
No, hold on. We got to do it. We got to do this properly. Let's hear it for Kadestrick Russel here. All right. Once again, if you're listening live on the radio, AM 1230 or 104.7 FM, all you got to do is call 219-845-1100 if you have a question out there driving around for Kadestrick Russel about his product. Also, you can put into the Facebook area of comments, and you can get your question answered that way. Typically what we do here at in my Jed and the Money segments is I talk to Kadestrick for a little bit, then I'll open it up to the floor or to people on the phone or to the questions that come in on the Facebook comments. Kadestrick, you come out of Purdue Northwest in 2011. What did you study there?
Entrepreneurship and business.
Entrepreneurship and business. And quite frankly, and I'm sure these folks would corroborate this, it shows in your presentation and actually, building it out, cost of goods sold, and you've gone those steps. Let's tune it back a little bit. You had to have some money to get one of these built, right? Do you have any prototypes, or where is it at right now?
We're at concept mode, so we haven't
built concept mode. So you haven't been able to build any right now. Okay, so in a perfect world, here we are in like the manufacturing capital of America, really, here in Northwest Indiana. In a perfect world, what kind of manufacturer or who do you see manufacturing this tent for you?
When you say
like what kind of a local company, or do you have to go somewhere else, or how do you find the people to make something like this, or is that something you want to make yourself? I'm
looking to start local. I'm looking. I am keen on made in the USA, so I want to at least start. In locally.
So I guess since it is at the concept phase, one of the perhaps connections that can be made by this appearance is that if there is a local manufacturer or somebody that might have the know-how to do that, and there are several that come to mind here locally that might see this, say, all right, Kadestrick needs to talk to somebody that can make this here local, all right?
Yes.
That's one of the, so it's at the concept phase right now.
Yes.
So I do have one technical question. You have on your concept model that you'll be able to open it with your app. Just from understanding batteries and losing power in the cold and so forth, you'll just be able to hit a button and it'll basically pop up and you'll be able to camp. How are you going to get power for that to happen? Have you gotten that far?
Well, we're going to use, we're thinking at this point to use some type of maybe battery. We haven't figured out exactly what we're going to use as that power source, but we're thinking some type of battery function. The reason why we added two is for that very reason.
Okay.
If you're having problems, cell phone go dead, you out camping, you can't erect it. You can just erect it from the push button.
So let's look at the chronology of this experience. You get to the campsite, you bring this package out, you put it on the ground, and everybody gets away from it because it's going to open up in a hurry, right?
Yes.
And I have also I've seen other things that inflate like that, and that's different. Inflation is a little bit different. This is kind of unrolling it, and then it opens up, and you're able to use it right away. So the chronology would be put it down there, and you're able to camp within 10 minutes, correct?
We looking less
than that. So it's just right then and there. So the family pulls it out, and they pull out a duffel bag, and they put it right down there.
Put it down.
All right. Now I noticed you put a price point of about $800.
Yes.
It seems like a lot of technology with electronics and the Wi-Fi and so forth, and you got to have all of the design that goes into it, and then you've got to, I don't know what you're doing, probably nylon tents is what you look at, maybe one of the things. A lot of that costs money. Is $800 enough on your price point?
From the professional research that we've done, we're looking at being able to manufacture on the high end about $300. So we think that at $300 to produce, $800 is a good enough. It's a good enough price for us to be competitive. We've seen competitors that sell tents that scale up to about $1,500. To 6 to an 8-person tent. So we want a price where we're competitive, and if we have to move that price, we have that flexibility versus going into the market and then charging say for instance $1,500, and then we have to scale back. We rather come in at $800, and as the demand come in, then we can scale up the price versus overpricing from the beginning.
He's Kadestrick Russel. If you're listening on the radio, it's part of another Jed and the Money segment. You guys hear these all the time. This one's 1 Million Cups, partnership with the Kauffman Foundation. And we have a live studio audience here. We have Kadestrick Russel, and he's talking about a tent that you just heard me describe it. anybody who's gone camping and has brought a tent out and it's raining or it's snowing or it's windy or you're just tired or you got to go to the bathroom, whatever it might be, and you're out there pounding stakes into the ground, and sometimes the ground is, of course, frozen. We've all gone through that. He's got a patent, and he's got a concept of product. Any questions from the audience today? Here we go, and introduce yourself. Come on up here and just get into the camera if you don't mind. Here, there you go. Yeah, well, it's too bad. For anyone who didn't comb their hair, too bad. Here you go.
I didn't really comb my hair. But no, Kadestrick, this is awesome. So my question is, you graduated with entrepreneurship in 2011, and this is 2017. So have you been working on this product the whole time, or have there been some other projects that you've looked at, investigated, maybe decided or not? Or,
yeah, I've been working on a few projects.
Okay.
I also, when I finished 2011, I went back and gained my MBA. So I did a lot of more search. I did a lot of more schooling, a little bit more research, did a little bit more professional research. Just been spending time trying to make sure that this product is a viable product, a viable concept. Spent a lot of time on it. It takes a lot. It took a lot to even get to this point. When we was initially issued the patents, they were rejected. We had to go back, do some more work, and make sure that we was able to patent the idea and not infringe. So that took a lot. That took a few years to get that done.
Oh, wow. And so is the design your own, or were you working with a partner with the design, or like how did the idea come about? Because finance and like banking seems a little different from camping, but yeah, how'd it come?
I was still dreaming.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Actually, I was sitting with friends, colleagues, and we was sitting and we was chatting, and they said, man, I went camping, and man, it took me like 3 hours to put this tent together, man. I want to spend time with the family, and I spent most of the part of my first beginning of my trip putting this thing together, and the concept just came. I said,
that's awesome.
It was, how can I make this faster?
That's awesome. Thanks. Very cool.
All right, excellent questions here. Just to follow up on that now, I'm an MBA student at Purdue Northwest right now also. How does that dive into how you were able to approach this project, that education? How did that help you?
It helped me to be able to do the more quantitative, qualitative thinking. I was able to do the research to understand how to start the company small, how to scale it up, how to make sure that I build that strong foundation from the start so that I can have that foundation so we can build it into a large company someday. So I think it was very vital in just giving me the basic understanding. Well, I won't say basic, but a grander understanding of how to run a business.
Great presentation. As a camper, one of the things you can use in your slide presentation is your husband and wife fighting while putting up a tent. Because we did that for years and always arguing and arguing. How does your tent differ from the new ones that they have now where they kind of do pop up? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? They have the ones that are...
You just pull the string and then it just pop up.
They do kind of pop up. But what I would like to see, too, is maybe a video in your presentation on... at actually how the tent works. I don't know, maybe going forward you could put something in, a video and to kind of show everybody exactly how your tent works. But
I think that's a very key point. We're introducing a new product to the market like that. You want to give people that visual so they can see, actually show them how it works. I hadn't got to the point of making that video because I wanted to develop the prototype, and then we can show that video as we introduce the product to people.
In the tradition of shameless promotion, Debbie Wargo is the station manager here at WJOB. And just what? We do videos. God, isn't that crazy? So as soon as you get funded, you know where to go to get that video made. Yeah. Hey, guys, driving around, we're talking to Kadestrick Russel. It's part of one of the Jed and the Monies, and it's part of the Kauffman Foundation's 1 Million Cups. And we really are creating a venture capital startup community right here along Indianapolis Boulevard on the campus of Purdue Northwest. This is my media company. And once again, it's just a shameless plug. If anybody wants to promote their product, they just got to get a hold of us over here, and then we'd love to have them in. And right now it is studio audience time. And your name?
Hi, I'm Carolyn Curiel. So Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Fascinating product. As somebody who went camping a lot as a child, one of 9 people trying to live in a campground, what are the dimensions? How sturdy is it? Would it survive rambunctious kids? Tell us more about the product.
Well, at this point, as I said, we're still at concept, but we did take into account safety. Actually, it has to be approved because it has an electrical and a mechanical appointment. There's government agencies that product has to be approved through. So before we're able to release it, we have to go through that process of making sure that it's safe. It won't catch on fire. It won't collapse. So those measures has been taken into consideration in building the product.
Okay. And if I can add to your ambition a little bit, there is a crying need for shelter around the world. And if this is sturdy enough and can survive winds, lots of heat, rain, it's a market for you because they need instantaneous shelters in refugee camps and other places like that where there are a lot of homeless. So thanks again.
We actually, just a point to what you're saying, when we was talking about doing the government contracting piece, we wanted to develop that tent in that way. So we will have a tent that can fireproof, that can sustain that type of atmosphere or weather. So we kept that in mind.
And if you don't mind me telling people who you are, is that okay? I know this isn't about you, but this is the former ambassador to Belize. So you're talking about seeing people that really don't have places to live, and even a tent sometimes can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Belize has idyllic weather typically, but we did have hurricanes down there. Had to evacuate while I was ambassador there. But I'm thinking now of the current circumstances around the world, where there are encampments where people are exposed to horrible elements, scorching sun, torrential rains, mud, and other really challenges that typically we wouldn't see here. Camping, recreational, wonderful idea. But when I said I wanted to add to the ambition, I remember working with the military, and they had put a high premium in setting up encampments where they were needed quickly. And if this were something that were applicable, it would be genius, absolutely terrifically genius.
Well, that's why you come here and that people present at a place like this for people like Carolyn. By the way, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence here. I didn't realize that was you in the back there. But that's why you do these kind of things. You probably hadn't really thought about, underdeveloped countries and the applications there. You're thinking about mom and dad, like Debbie was just talking about mom and dad fighting, putting the tent up. But, there's also that application. Let me just follow up on this. You're looking for funding right now, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's kind of the main thing. You've done all this work. You've self-funded, or you've had somebody help you out?
Self-funded.
Self-funded to this point. There are a lot of possible funding sites for minority entrepreneurs. Have you explored those?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, and so that would be another, I think, suggestion that Mon Hanley's going to give to you right away as we go through the SBIR grants and a lot of these grants. You know what? There is stuff specifically directed at folks who are minorities, and we have to get you some of that information. Here, Mon Hanley is the associate director here, and he wants to talk about that. Yeah, hold on. There you go.
So I think excellent presentation. A lot of people don't know this, but he contacted me last Thursday or Friday to said, what kind of slide presentation should I do? So I gave you the 10-20 rule, and you did it okay. 10 slides, 20 minutes. But the 30 is 30 font or higher?
Yes.
You didn't follow that. I want to put Professor Curiel on the spot, though. She is professor of communications here at Purdue Northwest now.
Purdue Downstate.
Downstate. I'm sorry about that. Former Emmy Award-winning producer for Ted Koppel.
Award nominated.
Award nominated. Okay, so welcome to my world, because I've been the executive director here.
Accuses me of Mark Van Fleet, who's here with me. Actually,
Put that mic in front of her there.
I came with my husband, Mark Van Fleet, today, and he calls me correcta. I was in journalism longer than I was in public service even, and I have to be accurate on all things. Okay.
So, in a great segue, how would you critique Kadestrick on his presentation?
Okay, Kadestrick. Thank you. Kadestrick. First thing is lose the nerves. Practice enough that you don't have any nerves at all. Your presentation was good. Make no mistake. You do need bolder type. You can't have an audience benefiting from very tiny type or too much information on here. So go bigger. Go to 30,000 feet, basically, and think bigger concept on your presentation. Make it bolder. Make sure that you've spell checked it, had somebody else look at it to make sure that when they look at it, they can make out what exactly it says and that you have the best ideas up on the screen. But you want the audience looking more at you than at this. You do want pictures or video that will enhance or images. You might have had a concept drawing. You did have one picture which looked a little bit like the size of a trailer. That's why I asked about dimensions on there. But I think overall, really good job. I would work on making sure that it's more audience friendly and have them with their attention on you so that you're the salesman. If they believe in you, they're more likely to believe in what's on the screen. So, but good job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. I do want to just jump on what Jim had to say about SBIR. Women and minorities actually do have special preference because they have received very little venture funding, angel funding. It's a really negative split. I mean, it's like 90% of the venture funding and angel funding go to white men, essentially. So there is actually a special push to go after African-American entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs right now. Small business innovation research. I really think you could potentially maybe find some grant money through the Department of Defense for emergency relief, things like that as well for your tent concept. So I'd really encourage that. And I think you came to speak because you want to get involved with the CMEC program. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's definitely talk.
Okay.
All right, guys. Mark, you have one final question. And we also, let's go to Dave on line one. Once again, we are live on the radio, 2 radio stations right here in the Chicago area, and also on Facebook and Twitter, so it's coming from all angles. And let's go to Dave on line one. And we will have to turn our mics down, so we won't be able to talk to him so that the audience can hear it on the speaker, so otherwise we'll have feedback. So go ahead, Dave, get your questions out, and then we'll come back to you.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Kadestrick, I congratulate you on your courage and your drive starting this venture. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there. But I'm going to challenge you a little bit today. As an avid hiker and camper, the Achilles heels for any hiker or camper is weight. And you're thinking of something that is mechanized with an external or internal power source. That is concern. That would be a concern for me as a hiker. And I also look at, there's product on the market now. I personally own a 3-person tent that weighs under 2.2 pounds that I could have up in 4 minutes. And convince me why this is nothing, and I know you're at the concept stage, but I do want to challenge you. Convince me why this is just not another product for someone that doesn't want to read directions and just wants to push a button and have something done for them. And there's my question for you. Thanks, and congratulations again on your courage.
All right, he challenged you. I'm not filtering that. You got to take it.
You said Dave?
Dave. That was Dave, yeah. He has to hang up because of the way, otherwise we'll get feedback from the speakers. But go ahead.
Hi, Dave. Dave, the purpose of Tent-MAtic is convenience. We're selling convenience. This is the way. This is the future of pretty much a lot of industries. That's one of the things people don't want to do. They don't want to go and they don't want to set up the tent. They don't want to take 2 hours. They don't want to fight. They just want to push a button and step back and their tent is set up. So exactly right. That's what we want to do. We want to bring convenience to the industry.
Sounds like Dave doesn't like those people. Mark, your turn.
Okay. Kadestrick, nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a suggestion. It seems like you're challenge right now, one of your biggest challenges, as you rightly said, was to develop a prototype. Unless you do that, you're going to be crippled in your ability to raise money. Because if I were an investor, I'd want to see, well, you have an idea, you have a patent, where's the beef, in effect, right?
Yes.
And that's going to affect your pricing, because you don't have an answer to the power yet, and you got to figure out what's this going to cost. And you can't answer that question unless you have a prototype, unless you have a better idea on the contract manufacturing specs that you'll need to actually estimate the cost. So here's a suggestion for you. There are a number of universities, including Purdue Northwest, but Rose-Hulman, Purdue Downstate, that you could put together a team of engineering students that I think could really help you with your prototype for very little cost. And I'm sure you're persuasive enough, maybe you can even get it as a capstone project for like seniors in mechanical engineering. And you give them an opportunity to get involved with a real world problem that they can solve, and that could help you with your prototype at very low cost.
Yes.
All right, man. Another great.
Yeah.
Hey, another great idea, and that's why folks come over here. And we're going to have to draw it to a close. Final question that we ask everybody who comes to Jed Namoni 1 Million Cups: what can our community do for you?
I think the feedback is vital. Any resources that's available that can help.
All right, let's just bring that one straight out. You're looking for funding, and like a lot of people that are coming through here, somebody wants to contact you, somebody watches this video, somebody's driving around listening on the radio. Best way to get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me on my cell, which is 708-612-9393. And you can email me at Russels, RUSSELLS123 @hotmail.com.
Let's hear it for Mr. Russell, huh? All right, final announcements. Once again, November 3rd, 3 to 5. We're going to have it. It's not going to be part of Jed Namoni or 1 Million Cups. It's going to be part of a Founders Hours right here in this building. It's a huge center right along Indianapolis Boulevard, just a block away from the main Purdue Northwest campus. It's going to be the guy from Dude Wipes. If you have any questions on that, call Monta at 219-989-2318. There it is. I want to thank everybody for coming in today. Any other announcements that I'm forgetting, Mr. Associate Director of the Entrepreneur in Residence? All right. Well, you know what? People around here in titles, they just kind of zoom around and no one really seems to get them right. But I want to thank our studio audience. Final round of applause for the studio audience and for Kadestrick. Thanks a lot to Coffee Cabin also for providing the free coffee, and that also ups our attendance because Coffee Cabin has some of the best coffee in all of Northwest Indiana. This will conclude our Facebook Live and Twitter presence. So thanks.